someone sits down and says, you know, I don't know, the kids can't do this. They don't know this. And we've had that happen a few years ago during lunch one day. And we had a little talk about it. So our goal is to improve transitions and improve what you're doing, or add to what you're doing, or lessen what you're doing to allow the children to move to the next grade.
In looking from K to first, the only thing really that they fell in were measurement. But I wonder, see, with taking that test, you'll probably see something pop up that our little guys haven't even been introduced to yet. And whatever that would be, we'd like to know. So maybe we could.
So you want me to go take the test right now?
Yeah. And could you? You have about a half hour. And be prepared.
And one of the things that I really liked was that at the school there are people from different cultures. What I don't understand is how we can have these partnerships in China. With all the technology we have, why aren't we working to kind of do things with them? Like, I've already gotten together with my buddy and we plan lessons that we can get online. We got the e-beams, we got these cameras. We can do a lesson together from California to Korea. Well, why don't we do that?
I don't think that it's impossible for us to talk about that system across, you know, just the Fairmont campuses. We could do that easily. I mean, there's no reason that FIA and the international program, or that Edgewood and, you know, some of the other schools at the same level can't get together and teach a class together. And, you know, that might make for a little more friendly communication between the students too, so they're familiar with faces, and then you can do group activities, field trips. I mean, that branches out. It brings a lot of, I think it could bring the schools together.
Second, it feels it's very difficult to get through everything they need to get through. Is it the same thing with third grade, that it's difficult to get, I'm talking treasures right now?
Yeah, I think stories, yeah, because again, we have to take that 2 weeks on each story because we have to cover those concepts.
The skills.
So then what we see is that we don't end up finishing that last portion. Yeah.
We were told that it was okay for us to do our stories based on the skills, that we had to cover the skill.
Wonderful. That's
so we listed out all the stories based on the skill that it covered. So if it was cause and effect or summarizing, we listed all the stories from unit 1 through 6 under that topic.
So right now I feel like we're just skimming the surface and this is the product of it. And I don't feel like it's anyone's fault to point fingers at, because right now we have to spend the 20 minutes per group at the small group. Well, we normally had 60 minutes for that whole group where we could fit in a whole lot more. Again, it's individual.
Is a good time to be teaching because they're little and their
brains are working
and
neurons are shooting.
But right now, you know, I understand the importance to scaffold. There is a need for the lower kids to have stuff that's attainable at their level to move up the ladder, and I understand the whole process and I believe in it, but with the number of academic minutes we have in a day and the amount of stuff we have to cover, the right arm's not talking the left arm in that sense. So right now we just kind of need to figure out collectively with these meetings where first grade is going to leave off in phonics and kind of how they're teaching it, where they're going to leave off in writing. Just have a standard, kind of like we had with the old system.
I see no reason why Anaheim Hills and Edgewood couldn't do some collaborative things.
Well, I think our first step would be us visiting each other's campuses, and we can kind of see what's going on, and then that might be an outgrowth of that. If we could reconvene at another one of our in-services or another time, and maybe facilitate that from happening. Certainly, as our technology grows here, that will be something that certainly would be a lot easier to do that here rather than, again, to China and other places. So.
And if you're talking about kids who genuinely, you know, want a job tomorrow or want to have, you know, the choices of jobs that they want to have, then I think what you're looking at is, do you want to preserve your future? I think it's a very, very valid question that a lot of people need to be asked today.
Preserve your future, understand the past.
I find that when I look at all the other classes on campus, I would be excited to teach those classes. And I think I look at the 3 science classes I teach, earth science and physical, and I like less life science, which was my major, than I do the other 2. And I think that part of what I really enjoy is learning along with the kids. When I'm sitting down and there's something new that I've never seen before, and we learn together, I find that to be the most fun. And so, why am I teaching? I think part of why I'm teaching is because I love to learn.